Well, the new Doctor Strange movie, Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness, is coming out soon, so I guess it's time to look back at another old Marvel movie from the 70s that failed to launch a TV series. So, today we're going to talk about Doctor Strange from 1978.
To the unknown with Doctor Strange.
Do you believe in evil?
You're telling me you're a sorcerer.
Don't defy me, Stephen, or I'll take my pleasure from you in another way.
John Mills is the power of good. Jessica Walter is the power of evil, and mankind's fate hangs in the balance. Peter Hooton stars as the man in the middle, Doctor Strange. Will the forces of evil conquer the forces of good on Earth? Doctor Strange, a special 2-hour presentation, Wednesday, September 6th at 8/7 Central and Mountain.
So this was directed and produced by Philip de Geer, who wrote some episodes of the 80s Twilight Zone, and has gone down, and Stan Lee has said before that I probably had the most input into that one. I've become good friends with the writer-producer Phil de Geer. I was pleased with Doctor Strange and the Incredible Hulk. I think that Doctor Strange would have done much better than it did in the ratings, except that it aired opposite routes. Those are the only experiences I've had with live-action television. Doctor Strange and the Incredible Hulk were fine. Captain America was a bit of a disappointment. And Spider-Man was a total nightmare. So yeah, the show... So the reason why this Doctor Strange series did not pick up was because it aired opposite of routes. So it's definitely interesting to see how this would have done. But so now we know how Stanley thought of it. Now we should know how I think of this movie. So, let's get right into it. So basically, the movie opens up with, we see Jessica Walters of Arrested Development, who actually is playing the very first live-action Marvel book villain as Morgan Le Fay, so that's pretty impressive. So she is sent by Dormammu, but it's not really Dormammu. He's called the Nameless One. She is sent to kill the Sorcerer Supreme, played by Sir John Mills, who won an Oscar for his role in Ryan's Daughter. Then we're introduced to the Sorcerer, and we find out that the character of Wong is actually in this movie. Yeah, Wong isn't... They have Wong in this movie. But then Le Fay possesses a young woman named Clea, who was a love interest of Strange in the comics, but is the niece of Dormammu, or whoever became a sorcerer in this, and never becomes a sorcerer in this film. And and Clea is used as a weapon to kill the Sorcerer Supreme by throwing him off a bridge to his death, and then he just walks it off. He just falls off the bridge. He just walks it off. I know it's because it's Sorcerer Supreme, but it's kind of funny. So then we're introduced to Stephen Strange, played by Peter Hooton of The Inglourious Basterds, and is not a neurosurgeon, but a psychiatrist, and never gets into a car crash and damages his hands, and doesn't turn into this tragedy where he goes out looking for a purpose to fix his hands. No, in this film, he's like it turns out that it was his father that was a sorcerer, so it's one of this like plots again, and it's basically exactly what Captain America did. So basically, yeah, his father was a sorcerer and bears a ring that shoots out lasers. It's supposed to be the Sorcerer Supreme's successor, basically. So then Strange shares Clea's dreams somehow, and is now at the hospital where Clea is not trying to fall asleep, but then is sedated and falls into a coma. The Sorcerer Supreme then tells Strange that he can save her, so he goes to the Sanctum on Bleecker Street that Le Fay is trying to get into, but is protected by a spell, which goes into a big thing with this movie is that there's a lack of magic, and there's some magic at some points, but There's definitely not that much like magic effects whenever they go into another realm, but we'll get into that more later. But so then the things start. Wait. So then things start getting trippy when Linmer takes Strange to the astral plane, and where he saves Clea and fights a weird demon voiced by Ted Cassidy, Lurch from the original Addams Family. I don't know, he just kind of this is like this weird guy on a horse just comes out. It's a weird scene. And then LaFay says to the Nameless One that she spread him because he's attracted to him, but the Nameless One threatens to turn her into an old woman, and yeah, this is mostly just one of these are just the only things people remember is just Jessica Walters talking to a giant pile of poop sock puppet. So then Strange says no to becoming the Sorcerer Supreme, lets LaFay disguise as a cat into the sanctum. I'm not joking. He walks out the door and sees LaFay disguised as a cat, and just puts her in this and then brings her in the sanctum. Why would you just put a rodent? I know you're trying to be nice, but like, who puts rodents in like a building? That's kind of disgusting, dude. But then basically LaFay disguises. She then kidnaps Linmer into the dark realm, and then Strange goes over to Clea's for a date, where LaFay then interrupts, and Clea falls into the demon realm, where she then seduces him, promising power, but then finds the Sorcerer Supreme, saves him, and we finally get to our big action scene, where we finally see him in a his sort of closely to his comic book, but not really. So then Strange then takes on the form of the Sorcerer Supreme, and then the accent comes in. The Ancient One comes in and is played by Michael Arnacia, the voice of Mr. Freeze from Batman the Animated Series, and basically makes him Doctor Strange. And then the show kind of ends on a bit of a cliffhanger when it turns out Morgan comes into our realm and is now some guru setting up more episodes with her. So, what are my thoughts on this pilot? Is it bad? Is it good? So, as much as Stanley really, really liked this, it's kind of crap. There's not that much action in it, and yeah, it has some characters from the comics, unlike Incredible Hulk or Captain America or Spider-Man, but it just doesn't really give much, and it's just kind of a weird 70s film. And I never really found it that entertaining as much. Like the Captain America movies, they're very inaccurate to the comics, but at least they're fun, especially Death Too Soon. Like, the action's fun, it's kind of pulpy, but this film kind of just feels like it's a little too much or doing too little. That's the weird way to put it. And though I will say Jessica Walters is pretty great. I love Jessica Walters. I mean, R.I.P. Jessica Walters is a terrific actress. I loved her in Arrested Development, and she's definitely great in this. And then for the first ever actor or actress to play a Marvel supervillain is pretty impressive. So, yeah, I find that pretty cool, and no one really seems to give her that, which is sad. But overall, this show had some good performances, but it's just it wasn't fun. But I will give it this, that they tried to make a Doctor Strange movie. That's the best thing I can say, is that they actually tried to make a Doctor Strange television show in the 1970s of all times. And I know, yeah, you could say because it's pretty psychedelic, but I still find it pretty impressive that they at least tried to make something. But it just wasn't at the end as fun as like Captain America or the Incredible Hulk show or even Spider-Man a bit. It could have been a lot better, but maybe it was just maybe it just didn't really deserve to be into a TV show. So now, of course, I couldn't talk about Doctor Strange without talking about another Doctor Strange movie, or sort of a mockbuster of it. Dr. Mordrid from 1992.
Our powers can be amusing.
This man's gotta die!
Dr. Mordrid, master of the unknown.
So this was a Charles Band of Full Moon Pictures. It was a straight to video company, and this was believed to be a Doctor Strange film until they lost the rights before the production. But the film actually was originally a Jack Kirby concept made back when Charles Band ran Empire Films, where the character was called Dr. Mortalis, but was later changed to Mordred, and Charles Band took on the title as creator. And now remember, Jack Kirby did not make Doctor Strange. This was mostly Stan Lee and Steve Ditko. And basically in this one, Dr. Mordrid is an interdimensional wizard that is sent to Earth by a being known as Monitor to protect Earth. So he's not a doctor, or was like a regular person at one point. And he's played by Jeffrey Combs, who was a Full Moon regular from stuff like Transfer 2, and he kind of possesses as a criminal psychologist and a mysterious landlord, and has the interests in New York of a research consultant for the police named Samantha. So that's kind of his romantic person. And then but then we have Cabal, Mordred's nemesis. For 1,000 years, they played another Full Moon regular, and was Shao Kahn in Mortal Kombat Annihilation, a movie I haven't seen. It was in multiple episodes of Star Trek TNG and DS9, and I think even him and Brian Thompson and Jeffrey Combs were on the same episode together. But basically, Cabal is on a mission to unleash demons from the fourth dimension to Earth, but needs a Sorcerer's Stone. And I would like to stop right here and just say that I think J.K. Rowling had a thing for the bands, like Harry Potter. Like, there's a movie called Troll, and there's a character in that movie called Harry Potter. So I think J.K. Rowling liked watching these movies. So basically, he needs a Sorcerer's Stone. And I know, yes, you're going to say it is originally called the Philosopher's Stone, but I don't know. And then there's the... basically, it's to unleash demons to Earth. And then there's a whole part where Mordred is thrown in jail because he is suspected of murder by a cop who harasses Samantha a lot. So there's that cliche from the 90s. And then there's a scene I would like to just mention that happens. So there's a scene where Cabal, one of his henchmen, just blows up a cop car.
Hey, officer. How's it going, dude?
Fine. What are you doing there?
Giving you a taste of the fires of hell. Woo! Better than the 4th of fucking July, man, huh? All right, there, don't move from us. Go ahead, man. I don't give a shit. All right, you've had your fun now, motherfucker. Go ahead. Arrest me.
I don't know why I find that so funny. It's just, I'm not like an anarchist or anything. It's just that actor, he's so over the top. And just the cop's reaction. I don't know why I like that. I don't know why that scene's so funny to me. And then also and then the film kind of famously ends with with basically some pretty great stop motion effects for the demons and dinosaurs in this movie. They were done by, I think, the guys who worked on Ghostbusters 2. So it's actually pretty impressive effects. So is this movie better? Yeah, I think a lot, because it's more action and adventure. But here's the biggest problem. It's an hour and 12 minutes. It's a very short movie. And you want it to be at least a little longer so you can experience more of the cheese factor. And it's a little way too obvious that this is supposed to be PG, but because since this was a company that made like R-rated like horror films, this movie they added like some cussing and some like nudity in it. It's so weird and it's just like doesn't really need to be there. But I think it has some fun stuff to it, and I think this could actually get a remake, but I doubt it because it's called Doctor Mordrid. But I think it's still a very fun movie, and I would like to actually see more movies from like Full Moon or Empire, because I do like reviewing these pulpy B movies, and to be honest, I wish I can review more of them that were not superhero movies. And Dr. Mordrid can be an interesting character if the movie was longer, because the movie does have a feeling that it was trying to be like a TV series, though. I don't know, and I like the idea that he's an immortal, and he's just kind of a protector. But I would say check this film out over the 1978 version, though. This film is a lot shorter than the TV movie. It's still fun. I definitely like Dr. Mordrid a lot more. It's worth checking out. So, there you go. There's my reviews of the interesting 70s and 90s Doctor Strange movie. And definitely excited to see Sam Raimi take over another Stan Lee and Steve Ditko character. And let's hope it's good. So, there you go, guys. Thank you very much for watching. Please subscribe, like, and let me know if you wanted me to talk about another Marvel movie that kind of like failed, like Man-Thing or Generation X. So let me know. Alright, thank you very much, guys, for watching. I'll see you next time. Goodbye.